What is up, guys? It's TimeForDillon back at it again with another crypto video. What is up, guys? It's TimeForDillon back at it again with another programming tutorial. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to make your very own seed phrase generator. So I built this little piece of code right here, and basically it pulls in the BIP39 word list, which is 2048 words, the same exact words that are used to create the mnemonic seed phrase for all Bitcoin wallets as well as the MetaMask wallets. So once I click this button, generate seed phrase, what it does is it generates random non-repeating words based on this list, and it also copies them to the clipboard, so I can very easily just paste them right over here. So it makes guessing very easy. Now, quick disclaimer, of course, don't try to steal people's money, guys. It's not cool. If you do manage to actually crack someone's seed phrase, don't steal their money. That's not cool. It's illegal. Not okay. That's not why I'm showing you guys how to do this. I'm showing you guys how to build this because it's a cool project that shows you how to import text files and then use random numbers to generate a random list of those words. So I think it's a cool project. We're going to be doing it in C++. So if you guys are brand new to programming, just follow along. You'll be able to do it. If you guys are following along with my Python tutorial series, you'll definitely be able to do this based on all the stuff we've learned so far. So without further ado, let's jump into this tutorial and get started. So the first thing you're going to need to do is download, it's called Qt Creator. So just, come over to Google, Qt Creator, and you want to do the open source one. So open source, and it's right here, open source development. Just scroll down, and it's right here, download the Qt installer. So boom, make sure you guys get the open source version because the other version costs hundreds of dollars, and yeah, we don't want to spend money when we don't have to. So once you have Qt Creator, what you're going to do is you're going to create a new project, boom, and you're going to want to make sure that you select application and Qt widget application. So this is so that we're able to make the user interface. And then you just store the project wherever you want. I have a CPP programs folder, so I'm just going to store it there, and I'm going to name it seed. Seed phrase machine. We'll call it that. Boom, and then just click next, go all the way through, and bingo bango, there we go. So the first thing I like to do is I always like to make the UI first. So you're just gonna come over here to the main window.ui, click on that, and this will pop up. Then from here, the only difference that I'm gonna do with this project is we are going to make it so that there's only one text box instead of two, because we don't need to. We don't need to output all the words. I kind of just did that as like a test, because I wanted to make sure that it was working. Boom. Let's see. Boom. We'll put a label. Label will be for the title. The UI probably takes the longest. This is probably the longest part of the project. Come over here. We're going to set the font to 16. And then we will center it. Pause, rewind if you need to, if I'm going too fast. And then make sure to name everything so that we're able to reference it in the code. Okay, we need a button. This will be our button. Generate. Boom. And then we need a group box and the radio buttons. Boom. Okay, and radio buttons. So the radio buttons will give us the option of changing the length of the words if we want to. You don't have to. You really don't even have to do this. You can just set it to a certain length. And yeah, it does make it easier, technically speaking. I mean, technically speaking, the way we could build this is just have just the button. So you press it, it copies the words. That's all you really need. You don't need any of this other stuff. We could hard code the number, but this just makes it more fun. Get to practice some UI. Why not? $21 word bump. $24 word. Boom. There we go. And then we'll name these so that we can reference them. Can't start with the number, so. WORD 21. So we're almost done, guys. Boom. And then word 24. Boom. Okay, so we have everything we need. Now the last thing we need to do is we just need to make a piece of code that is connected to this button so that once we press the button, it will be tied to a block of code. And then the other thing is I selected the 12 so that it's automatically selected. So that will be like the default option. So to create the code that is associated with the button, you just right click and click go to slot. Boom. And then you could click whichever action you want to tie the code to. So for us, we're just going to do clicked. Boom. And then let's just test it, see if it's working. You know, we need to include IO stream. That's the input output stream. And then we're going to do using namespace std. And that is so we're able to see out. Test. Cool. Save it, run it, and it should work. Let's make sure it works. Boom. And there we go. Looks like it is working. Awesome. So what we need to do now is we need to get our list of words. Right? The way that you do that is you're going to come over here and you're just going to type in DIP 39 word list, and it will be right here on GitHub. It's called english.txt. So you click this. These are all the words. What I did was I just copied them, and then I came over here into Google Docs, and I had this english.txt, and then I downloaded it. And then what you're going to do is you are going to put that in the same project directory that we have it in. So this one, and it's in the build folder. So I'm gonna get it from here. This is the one that we were just working on, the one that I showed you, I should say. And we'll put it in here. Boom. Seed phrase machine, build, save, cool. There we go. Close that. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to ask ChatGPT to help us out just a little bit. Boom. All right. Can you write 2 C++ functions for me, please? The first will open a text file and save each line to a vector. The second will save n number of those strings into a string. I'm going to return it. N number of those words, and return it. The words must be random and non-repeating. There we go. I mean, I could have showed you how to write it, but let's save some time. get ChatGPT to do it for us. Boom, so there's the code. Let's copy it, paste it here. We're gonna get all of these libraries because we do need these libraries. Come up here, paste it there. We have IOStream already. Fstream is file stream, so that allows us to open the file. Vector is basically the list that we're using. It's like an array kind of. String is like a word data. Algorithm is an algorithm. Random allows us to use random numbers. Cool, so let's see. Let's make sure everything is looking good. So our read lines from file, we'll take in the file name, store it to lines, the file name, return lines. So what I'm going to do is I am actually going to get this. So we can't have this main here. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy all this out of here, and essentially for us, our main function is main window. So this is like our main right here. And these actually need to go up there. We'll put them up here. Boom. Now this right here, we need to put in the generate button. So we're putting the string that is storing the random words inside of the generate button function. And what we're later going to add to this function is some code that will change the number of words that is returned based on which one of those radio buttons is clicked. But we'll do that later. So for now, we'll just hard code this to 12. And then to solve this problem about the lines, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it up here. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to be able to use lines everywhere in this file. So if I only have it in here in this main window function, then I can only use it in that main window function. So instead, I created it up here at the top so it could be used anywhere, and then I'm going to set the value of it right here. So that way it could be used anywhere. And technically, I should do the same thing with the random words, so I will. You don't have to, but I like to do that. Now this std : thing, you don't have to put if you put using namespace std. So I like to put using namespace std at the top so you don't have to type std every single time, but it doesn't really matter. It's up to you, just for consistency's sake. I'll probably go back in later and remove all of the stds, but for now that's fine. And then we just need to change this to english.txt because that's what we named it, and this should work. So let's go ahead and test this now. Click run, generate, and as you guys can see, it does give me random words. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 random words. Awesome. Very cool. So we are in business. We can now get rid of this line because we don't need to test that it's outputting. We don't need this test line anymore. Boom. So what we need to do now is just encode this so that if, I think we named it word.12. So we need to UI.word.
Supposed to. What are...
Sorry. Bro, what's going on? Let's run it. Sometimes, for whatever reason, it doesn't want to reference the UI elements that we have here. So we just need to try it again. UI.word12.is checked. So if this one is checked, then we're going to run this block of code. And what we need to do is we need to add the if statement. So if, boom, then we run that. Put this right here. And then just copy this for all the different options. Boom. Word 15. Word 15. Okay. 15, 18, 18, 21, 24, 24. Boom. And then the last thing we need to do is we just need to set the text of that UI element to this string. So UI.generated_words.set text. And then we need to, so whatever we set this text to, it needs to be a Q string. So in order to set a regular string to a Q string, you just do this, Q string, : from standard string, and then random words, boom. And that's it. That will set the text to whatever this string is. And actually, we just need to put it once at the bottom. So you could put it inside of the if statements, but what gets stored into random words depends on these if statements. This line right here outputs random words regardless of what's in there. So we only need to call that once at the end. So boom, and this should technically work. So let's run it and take a look, make sure it's working. Generate, cool, so it is working. The only thing I want to change is instead of having them all in one line like this, I want them all to be printed out on a new line. So the way you change that is up here in the get random words function. We just need to come down here. This is like the output part. And change this from a space to an nth line, like that. Boom. Run it, make sure it's working. And then the last thing we need to do is just add the copy feature. Cool, so that does work, as you can see. Very cool. So let's go ahead and copy now. And the last thing we need to do is just add a copy feature. I have it in my other program, so I'm just going to go ahead and copy. It's right here. Q application, clipboard, set text, blah, 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 blah. So we're going to copy this line, put it in our program that we're working on right now. Random words, boom. And then we do need to include Q clipboard. Now this should work. Copy, generate, let's see if it worked. Cool, so it does work. You, coin, smooth, it's working, baby. Let's see if the 24 word works. 4, it's working, awesome. So as you guys can see, not too hard of a project to make. Of course, with the help of ChatGPT, makes coding an absolute breeze. Now it does help to have like a very basic level of understanding of coding before you go ask ChatGPT. So what I would recommend you doing is go to sololearn.com and taking the introductory Python series. I also have a series here on YouTube if you guys are interested in watching, where I go through this entire series with you guys. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you guys made it this far, you guys are awesome. I did quickly want to say this. You're never going to be able to guess these seed phrases, guys. It's practically impossible. And the reason why is because for 2,048 words, to have a 12-word combination, the total possible outcome is like a 35-digit number. So you're never going to be able to guess this. It's more just fun implementing this awesome project so that you guys are able to code with me. So you guys have a beautiful day, beautiful night, wherever you guys are. Dillon is out.